Hi, this is Lorraine, and I've been guided to do another video. If you'll give me a minute to clear, center, and balance my energy, we'll get started. This week, I was strongly guided to talk about the idea of releasing separation and moving to unity. How do we move from separation or our perceived reality of seeing ourselves as separate and then reconciling and accepting the truth of our divine root as unity? That's what this video is going to be about. And I can only speak from my personal experience, but I'm always trying to present my perspective as a place to start from, because each of our journey will be different. Each of our journey back to unity will be different. Some may be very similar to mine, and others might be extraordinarily different. But nevertheless, this is a journey that we are all walking, and we are at a profound place of transition. And this transition is expansion and opening ourselves up to those first steps of knowing and accepting our divine root. Knowing and accepting that we are divine. We are not separate. We are not following anything. We are seeking and finding the path that will walk us back to unity, wholeness, and oneness. One of the first lessons I had to learn, or one of the first experiences I had to accept, was listening to my intuition. I had strong feelings in my body, and I would call this clairsentience, that guided me. And when I didn't listen to those feelings in my body, I would experience, I'll say, trauma. In addition, I could feel my body twisting and turning, and I would have anxiety, I would have panic attacks. And at 58 now, today, when I look back at my life, I know in those moments I was resisting truth. I was resisting the truth that my divine root, my divine self, my higher self, the divine consciousness was trying to communicate to me, this person, Lorraine, as I was journeying forward. It was trying to remind me who I was and trying to guide me on my path. And I was so committed to my perception of faith and religion and the dogma of Catholicism that I needed to follow these rules, that I blocked out other things, other messages, guidance. And starting at a very young age, I had to go through this process of releasing. And I was very committed to my faith because I was very committed to my relationship with my father and my grandmother. But I always remained true to those relationships and what they meant to me. But I had to allow myself to expand and grow, to journey, to doubt, to question everything. And that journey has brought me to this place. And what was necessary for me to get to this place was first to listen to the messages that were being sent to me, follow the guidance that was being offered to me, and then move through all the experiences that that guidance was showing me. And there was a lot of trauma in my childhood and even in my adulthood. There's been a lot of trauma even since I started following divine guidance that's related to my healing. But it's through this process I have learned that as I walk this path and I seek and work towards maintaining clear, centered, and balanced energy, and I work towards releasing any fear. I can use words like anger, bitterness, resentment related to any of the experiences that I've had that created anger, bitterness, and resentment. But at the root of all of those experiences is fear. So what I've come to know is this journey of opening myself up to all the experiences that I've had and releasing the fear connected to those experiences has been my most profound lesson. Because as I learn to maintain clear, centered, and balanced energy, love and accept myself for who I am, for what I've been through, and release any fear related to those experiences, I learn that those traumas and those experiences, some positive and some not so positive, were meant to help me understand who I am and what I am capable of becoming. All perspectives of that idea of who I am and what am I capable of becoming. And as I journey on that path of discovery of who I am and what I'm capable of, I've learned that that trauma, when I look at it from a balanced perspective, is experience. It's nothing more or nothing less than experience. And on this journey, I watched Interview with ED, and it's a show that was on for a couple seasons on Gaia, and it I can't remember the name of the gentleman. His last name is Langdon, but I can't remember his first name. But he interviewed many people who channeled beings from other worlds. And as I was going through this expansion, I remember one of the people he interviewed was interviewing a reptilian being. And this reptilian being kept on saying, "You desire this experience. You as humans desired this experience." And it was right in the middle of me going through releasing a lot of trauma, trying to find perspective for that trauma, trying to forgive for the things that I have experienced and things that have been done to me. And I became very angry. And I said, how can someone say I desired this experience? Because I was perceiving those experiences from an unbalanced place. I was perceiving those experiences from fear. Okay, that's what I know now. But in that moment, I was very angry and very resentful. And then I would observe these high level beings being interviewed through this person who's channeling. And every time a question would be asked relating to our perspective or our experiences on this world, these high level beings would always say, it's about perspective, it's about perspective, and they were very vague. So that frustrated me because I wanted an answer. But from this place that I'm at now, that's the wisest answer. Every experience we have on this world, in this experience across the universe, is based on our perspective. It is based on the perspective of our experiences. So Lorene, at the age of 35, everything that I experienced at that age was through the lens of someone who was dealing with profound trauma from childhood up through adulthood. And so how I reacted to the world was based on those experiences that I still carried in my emotional body. So I could be triggered and become angry, aggressive, abusive, because I was trying to defend myself because I was afraid. But as I've grown to this place that I'm at now, I see things from a different perspective, from a more expanded perspective. Not only my experiences, but the experiences of everybody around me, which helps me to open up and not be judgmental to others, their trauma, their experiences, as well as myself, my trauma and my experiences. That being said, it doesn't validate harming others. It doesn't mean it's okay to harm others. We must all have healthy boundaries. We must all set those healthy boundaries, myself included. But I do not judge people on their journey. I have to allow them to go through their trauma and learn how to find a way to find peace with it, find balance in their experience, and then release the fear, expand, grow. That's where we're all at right now. Okay, we're at this place of profound expansion, and everybody's experiencing it differently based on where they are in their own evolution, mind, body, and spirit. One of the most profound experiences I've had in just these last 10 years, 9 years, since 2016, since I had that massive awakening, is happened a few years ago. And I've talked about this before, where I had a massive deluge of past lives come in. And they were very profound past lives, like Roman Caesars that ran or conquered most of Europe, Asian, Chinese, Korean, Japanese warlords and emperors who have taken over, conquered many lands, Jesus Christ. All these profound experiences, and as they're coming in, it was very upsetting for me. And I'm like, I couldn't have done all of these things. It makes no sense that I would have all these profound experiences. And then I had to consider, is this an unbalanced energy coming in trying to feed my ego, right? What's happening? I had to ask, what's happening? And it was very emotional. It was very emotional. It was very deep in my body. I had a very difficult time as I was going through that, processing all the information that was coming in. It was overwhelming. It was very much like what happened in 2016. And I can't put in words what that is, but I had to receive that information. And as I'm going through and I'm receiving this information, I'm processing it, I'm integrating it into my emotional body. I'm asking, what do I do with this? How can I use this information to help me? And first I felt like, okay, I've done very bad things. I've hurt many people. then I've also had epiphanies where I was like, I was trying to help my people, I was trying to save my people, I was trying to protect my people. In order to protect my people, I had to conquer these lands, and oppress these other people, or try to bring these people into our life, understand our life so they can accept it and live in peace with us. But really what I was doing was oppressing them, their lives, to try to bring peace to my people, right? So I'm going through all this stuff, trying to understand what I'm supposed to learn from this experience, from these lifetimes. And then I realized, as I'm receiving this information, I'm at a place of profound expansion. I am not me. I am not Lorene. I am not only Lorene. I am many things. And as I connect to my higher self and to divine consciousness, I am expanding and opening myself up to divine guidance and divine truth. This was that profound understanding that came to me. I'm not necessarily having all of these experiences. As I open up and as I allow myself to expand from a clear, centered, and balanced place, as I accept these messages and truth about myself, the good and the bad, and I allow myself to feel pain and sadness and not judge myself, and also not judge anyone around me who may be going through similar experiences in their life. And as I open up, meaning their own darkness, as they're opening up to their own darkness, and as I allow them to go through that without judgment, and I find and I carry love and compassion and acceptance in my heart, I am reconciling many truths. And as I find that compassion in myself, for myself, I understand that it is not just my experience, this is divinity's experience. This is unity's experience. Because the divine consciousness, the creator of all things, is not just God and not just the devil. It's both things. The creator of all things created light and dark, good and bad. And not only did it create it, it is all those things. It manifested all those things because it is the creator of the existence that we live within. And we are, each of us, that creator, perceiving itself as separate, as something different. We're not different, we're not separate. We are divine, and we are perceiving ourselves as separate. And as we move towards that understanding that we are unity consciousness, we reconcile this idea of separation, and those lines begin to blur, and they will eventually fade into nothingness. Every time we open up to past life experiences, we open up, or what we perceive as past life experiences, we open up to unity consciousness. Because it is unity consciousness that is experiencing all those lifetimes. Every single one. 8 billion on Earth, and trillions upon trillions upon gajillions within this universe. Unity consciousness is experiencing those lifetimes, is experiencing those worlds, those suns, right? Stars, nebulae, black holes, everything that is existing within this perceived universe is a perception of unity consciousness. It is a way that it perceives itself. We are one point of view, one perception of that unity consciousness. But we are reconciling who we are, and we are beginning to merge with that unity consciousness. So when you are accessing what you perceive as a past life, you are truly accessing a perception of unity consciousness. You are perceiving a perception of yourself as unity consciousness. Okay? That's so important to understand. We are shifting our perspective of our existence, of our place, how we see ourselves in this world, in this universe, in this existence. And it starts with our own healing. And it's a very challenging journey. But it is worthwhile. It shows us all how amazing we are as we perceive ourselves as separate. But as we move forward towards unity consciousness, we will be in awe of what we're capable of, what we are willing to do to understand who we are and what we're capable of. What are we? What am I? What am I meant for? What am I here for? What do I exist for? What is the purpose? We all ask ourselves these questions because unity consciousness, unity, divinity, the creator of all things, desperately seeks those answers. What am I? What do I exist for? What am I meant to do? Okay, I think that's it. I think it's time to stop. Thank you.